Welcome back to Once Upon a Tiny Farm. My name's Drew. In today's video, I got a really exciting video, something I've really wanted to do for a long time, and that is to make a black soldier fly bin for my chickens, to make some free chicken food. Because, you know, it's actually kind of expensive to be buying the black soldier fly larva treats from the store all the time. Although, if you do want to buy them, you could use my code TINYFARM from Grubterra's store to get 10% off your purchase. But if you don't want to do that, you could make your own DIY black soldier fly larva bin with me today, and it's going to be really, really simple. All you're going to need is a pocket knife to make some holes. You're going to need a tote of some kind, and you're going to need some food scraps, which we have. And from what I understand, the stinkier we make this, the more we're going to attract the black soldier fly and create some really tasty, disgusting larva treats for our chickens. So let's get started. So here's the bin that I'm using. You could use probably any kind of bin you want. I have a smaller bin here I was thinking about using, but this one, I think I used this previously for a worm bin, and then I used it for some other things. I've actually used this also for baby chicks as a brooding box. But what I like about this is I already have some holes in the bottom, which will be good for drainage. I was gonna have to do that anyway. So I have some about 1/4-inch holes drilled in the bottom, so this won't be too soggy, because from what I understand, once the larvae start to hatch, it gets pretty wet in there anyway, so that'll happen on its own, but this will help keep some of the moisture out. And we do have some holes cut in the side, but what I'm going to do here is, I got this idea from Stephen Cornett's channel, Nature's Always Right. He did a video talking about just doing slits in the side, larger, not very wide, maybe at max like an inch in width, and doing slits like this size all the way around, so when the black soldier flies want to come in to lay their eggs, they can easily come in, and then when the larvae hatch, they could easily slip out the side. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I could do that with my pocket knife, just cut some slits all the way around the sides, but only on this like top half, like maybe the top 1/4 of this bin. I'm going to do some slits around the sides, and then I'm going to fill it with a bunch of different things, which I'll show you right now. So this is a bin that I keep my food scraps in, and tonight we had ribs. So there's some rice in there, there's some old bananas in there, there's some pork and beef bones in here, a bunch of different food scraps all in here. And typically, I mean, I would throw this to my chickens, but in a way it's going to my chickens anyway, because it's going to go in this black soldier fly bin to attract some black soldier flies to come and lay their eggs. Another thing that I have that has been in our freezer for way too long, I've been collecting beef and chicken and pork bones, and these are very frozen, but I know that this is what's going to attract those black soldier flies to come in. These will get really stinky and attract those flies to create the larvae. So I need to get this out of the freezer. It's time to make a black soldier fly bin. We're going to add this stinky stuff, but to fill the bottom part of this bin, I actually have a pile of composted cow manure that I'm going to fill at least half of this bin with, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Pretty gross, right? Let's pile this all in there. I need to move this, place it in the chicken run. It might be too heavy for me to move if I fill it, so yeah. Let's go put it in its place in the chicken run first, and then we'll finish filling this up. All right, stuck it in the spot where I'm going to keep it here. Now I'm just going to fill it up with all those stinky goodies. I filled this up with the cow manure, and now I'm going to come in with the scraps. Although I realized I did not cut any holes in the sides like I should have already. Hopefully the chickens will let me come in and won't bother me. Oh, bag of bones are gonna go in. Aren't for you yet, guys. That's like a whole carcass. Let's spread out some of these scraps on top. Oh yeah. Okay. Now I need to cut some holes in the side. Hopefully they'll leave me alone. Leave me alone. Now, I got some holes in the side. This would have been way easier if I just did it before I put it in there, but I wasn't thinking, I'm getting tired. And now, see, the chickens are taking stuff out, so I gotta cover this up. I gotta keep this covered so rain doesn't come in and wash everything out, and so that it has time to draw in the soldier flies. So I'm gonna cover this real quick. Okay, so of course I couldn't find the lid for this guy. It probably broke. So I found a piece of random hardybacker board I just had. And that's going to keep it covered, keep the chickens out of it. They already pulled some stuff out of there, and they're going to have to wait for these black soldier flies to get in there and lay some eggs, and then hopefully they'll start dropping out the sides and they'll have treats there for as long as they're here, as long as the temperature's warm. So whew, that was a workout. All right guys, that's it. That's our black soldier fly bin. I got it nestled safely in the chicken run, and maybe in a week or so I'll go back in there and check. So I don't really enjoy going in there. I'm probably gonna fast forward that clip when I was in there trying to cut holes in there, but I was slipping because I have so much stuff on the ground in there, different layers, that my feet were just going in like a foot, like quicksand falling in the ground. But it's set up, it's covered. I've got it. I would have liked to have more slits in there, but there's a couple at least on each side of that bin. So hopefully the flies will be able to get in there, and the chickens won't be able to get in because I have it covered with a heavy piece of hardybacker board on top. But would have been nice if I had the lid, but you know, stuff happens. And anyway, that's my easy DIY black soldier fly bin. I'll do an update maybe in a few weeks and see if there's any activity in there. I'm very curious. And it's been really hot and humid, so it should be good. Especially that cow manure, the composted cow manure I got from a local farm friend of mine. It was actually aged compost, like 3 months, he said, when I got it from him. And that actually still has the smell, like it still smells, you know, like poop. And that is what attracts flies, from my understanding. Like on pasture, if you were doing like the Joel Salatin style, like chicken tractors, having the cows be followed by the chickens would go and scratch at the cow poop, and there'd be black soldier fly in the poop. So that combination I put in there is going to be excellent, I think. So really looking forward to that. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you're new here. I'd really appreciate that too. All right, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.